Tell me about yourself.
My name's Craig Smith. I'm from Southern California. Come from a family of four, two brothers, two sisters. I'm the oldest. I'm 32. The youngest actually just started college, so a pretty big gap in our family. Recently, just got married almost 5 months ago to my beautiful wife, Carly Seifert, who coincidentally enough went to University of Nevada. She was a star um, volleyball player there back in 2005. And absolutely loved it back there and had a blast. We live out here in Provo, Utah, and we love the summers. We love hiking. We love camping. We love being outdoors. She's from Northern California. We love playing in rivers and lakes and just being outdoors and having fun. Summer's definitely the most fun time of the year. Personally, I love sports. I love very competitive. Love environmental issues. Love learning about new things and learning about issues in today's society, and just you know find these things very intriguing. And obviously, it's one of the things I plan on doing is solving some of these issues in society with more of an environmental uh, background, so to speak, as well.
What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Um, my biggest strengths would probably be my work ethic. I have been working ever since I was 12, whether it be for my father or for my neighbors or summer jobs, random jobs, restaurants, whatever it was. I was always working from a very young age. And, my father taught my brother and I well on how to work. And, you know, Saturdays weren't spent watching cartoons. They were spent out in the yard working. And, we worked hard and we played hard. And that was kind of my dad's motto. And, you know, I worked with Applebee's for 10 years and for Costco for almost four now. And, my work ethic there is, unmatched. And I work hard no matter what the day involves, no matter how hard the goals might be, no matter what the challenges are. I work hard to get those goals accomplished. And I really take pride in how hard I work. And, that is probably easily one of the things that I'm the most proud about myself. The other thing would probably be my loyalty. As I mentioned, I worked for Applebee's for 10 years. I was extremely loyal to them, maybe loyal to a fault. To be quite honest, I held back my academia a little bit. But, my loyalty and my passion, they kind of get wrapped up in one. And, to be quite honest, I was never really passionate about anything in school. I never found anything that really caught my attention or my passion to make me loyal, so to speak, to academia. And therefore, Costco and Applebee's were the ones that got my loyalty. And obviously, that's all changing now, is where my passion and loyalty are trying to focus them in on school and try and move in a different path and a different career path. And honestly, that's just something about me that once I become passionate, I become loyal. And when you have my loyalty, you have me for however long it takes to accomplish whatever it is that we've set out to do.
And your weaknesses?
My weaknesses, probably my biggest weakness would fall right along with that passion, is that sometimes I get too passionate and I get too a little overzealous maybe at times. I push people to keep up with me, and I push people to work on the same pace as me, and sometimes that's just not possible. And sometimes I can become frustrated with them, and things obviously can break down from there. Um, the other thing is too that a weakness I have is that sometimes I see these big goals, and I get these great ideas and I get these great things of how to accomplish these, but sometimes I skip steps to get there. And school's one of them. School's the one that sometimes I skip the steps. I see bigger things that I think I can do and bigger opportunities, and then I skip the school and then I'm having to go back and finish the school. And now I have bigger fish to fry. I see bigger problems in society and bigger things that I'd like to help solve. And I can't skip those steps now. I have to go to grad school, and I got to go through the right steps to be able to actually help solve some of these problems, and not just be a wishful thinker and let my passion do whatever kind of work it can. Those weaknesses, I'm really trying to correct them and make them some of my strengths.
Why did you choose to apply to our program?
Well, like I mentioned, my wife went to University of Nevada, and she loves it there. She's from Northern California, and she'd love to be closer to home. And I love it there too. We're both from California and would like to be closer. And from all the research I've done, your program looks great. Your program looks to be exactly what I need and what I'm looking for. Um, I have more of an environmental background and environmental you know angle that I'd like to put on land use and land planning, and I feel like your program will meet those needs and will help me to further my environmental aspect on attacking some of these issues and challenges in society.
Tell me about a time when you were unable to meet a deadline or had conflict with a coworker.
Um, like I said, I've worked in the restaurant industry and retail industry for 15 combined years, whatever it's been, and you know, you work with a lot of different personalities on a given night. You can work with 15 to 20 absolute different personalities, and they clash. In the bakery now, I work with like 6, 7 people in a very intimate setting. Like we're shoulder to shoulder, working next to each other, and you get under people's skin. Like you don't always get along. That's just the nature of the beast. And I have an assistant manager who I love, and she works very hard, but her and I go about our business in two completely different ways. And it got to the point to where her and I just weren't talking to each other. We were going about our ways differently, and we just kind of would mumble and grumble about the other one. And eventually it got to the point where I sat down and I said, Pam, we need to sort this out. You and I are too important to this bakery to not be on the same page. And her and I did. We sat down, we hashed it out. We told each other how we felt about one another and the respect we have for each other. But then at the same time, what drove us crazy about one another. And we got a better understanding of where the other person's coming from and what the other person's goals are. And at the end of the day, our goals were the same. Our goals were to make that bakery the best bakery in our district. To every day, make sure that things went off without a hitch, and to fill in the gaps wherever it needed be. And her and I are very similar. Um, and the funny thing is, ever since that day, we still do our same thing. She still drives me crazy, and I probably still drive her crazy. But what holds us together now is the respect we have for one another. I know she's not going to do things the way I want her to do, and I'm not going to do things the way that she might want me to do either. But we both have that respect for one another, and ever since then, we've been able to really put our differences aside and achieve some really good things in the bakery.
What are your career goals and how will our program help you achieve it?
I do. I have career goals that in society and on the city, state, county level that I would love to accomplish, and I recognize that I need more networking, more field work, more literally just more tools in the toolbox. I have this toolbox that right now is full of passion and a project here, a project there, but I need a lot more experience. And it wasn't until I actually decided to go back to school that I even found the passion to go after this program. And you know, I so I do recognize that I am lacking, quite a bit as far as tools in my toolbox. And I see University of Nevada as a place that will facilitate my growth and learning. And I look, that's one of the reasons that I chose University of Nevada.
And what do you feel you can bring to our program, either academically or in experience?
Um, well, academia, I've been around the block, so to speak. I have way more credits than I should. Quite honestly, I should have 2 bachelor's degrees. So I did. I went throughout school a very different way than most, and I'm not that I'm proud of it, but I don't resent it, and I've learned a lot from it. And I bring a very different aspect to the table. School is something that I did not take for granted. I did take for granted at one point in time, and now it's something that I want. It's not something that my mom or dad told me that I have to go do. It's something that I want and that I'm gonna go get. So I feel I value it different now, and I feel that along with my passion and work ethic, that value I place on this education is, it's a big piece that I can bring to the table and help accomplish some goals that the university probably has as well.
What separates you from other candidates?
Probably the biggest thing could just be my age and maturity. I have work experience. I have real life work experience, not just a janitor in the library, on the weekends and part-time student jobs. I work full time. I'm used to a big load. I'm used to doing 3, 4 things at once. You know, I I can do that. That's not a problem with me. I look forward to taking on a huge load and tons of research and even having to find a job in the spare time. Like I look forward to doing that, and I know I can do that. Um, but yeah, work experience and maturity would definitely probably what sets me apart from everyone else.
Do you have any questions for our program?
I guess I'm curious to know like the goals of your program, like the goals that you might be working with, specifically maybe with the state of Nevada or just the city of Reno or the county, whatever it is, and whatever projects that might be out there. Probably some other things I would be curious into is maybe the professor to student ratio. Are there a lot of students in the program? How intimate of a setting would I get to be able to work with the professors and, really be able to network as opposed to just be one of, 50 students there. And, lastly, I mean, I'm going to school to earn a job and to be able to get a, job to support my family. So I'd like to know the work, what kind of work opportunities are going to be there for me once I go through your program. You know, are there some good opportunities? Those are things that I would like to know.